Ooh, boy, did we have some divisional games. It's going to go down as one of the best playoff weekends in history. Every game coming down to a last second score with zero time on in regulation or in overtime, as the last game proved to us. And you don't have to worry about a coin toss on if you're going to subscribe. So go ahead and do it. It's nickel and dime. Let's get into it. Shawn, I know you're hurting, buddy. I know this sucks. If I were you, I probably wouldn't want to talk football, so I appreciate you being here. How you doing? Need to do a friend check-in first before we do a show check-in.
Bro, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. And I'm sure, to some of the our fans, we love you, you know what I'm saying? But how sweet it is for you to watch me in turmoil. I understand. It's been tough, man. It's been tough because you hadn't had a loss of this caliber in a year plus almost, you know what I'm saying?
Those feelings were going away.
Yeah.
As a Panthers fan, I can say they're always there. They're always ready. They're waiting for you, you know?
Yeah. Right in the hip pocket. But yeah, it's tough, man. We'll get through it though. We'll get through it.
I completely understand your hurt and your pain, and I hate that you're going through it because what a weekend of football. My God. Every game was close. Every game came down to it. So let's go ahead and start off with the Bengals and Titans. Bengals letting Joe Burrow getting sacked 9 times. 9 times, and they still won the game.
Won in a win like that does not happen. I tweeted out about that offensive line multiple times, man. Just like and Drew, I gotta ask, man, like if you are Zach Taylor, how do you not help your quarterback with the play calling?
Yeah, I mean, little screen passes here. Like, luckily they figured it out. Little dump passes to Mixon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when the pressure got too much. But
yeah.
I love I mean, you got to bring it back up every time this happens. You got to bring it back up. With the year that Boyd had and the year that Higgins had, would they have been better served
with Penei Sewell?
With Sewell as that pick?
Yeah, I definitely don't think so, but there's no way that they cannot address the position in this year's draft.
Right. If they don't do it again, then Burrow's just going to be standing there like.
Right. And he has every right to, because right now you are seeing AFC champion Bengals, or excuse me, not quite yet, but they're in the game. But they can make it there. There's just little supplementary pieces that team can. We haven't seen it play out yet, but it might be what they need in order to get over the top.
Yeah.
If indeed that L is coming. So
right. I mean, they kind of work better under that underdog role. So
yeah,
it might work out best for them. Because if you were to tell me that Burrow would not throw a touchdown and King Henry would come back, I wouldn't have believed you on the outcome of this game.
Yeah. And honestly, moving over to the Titans side, if you'd have told me that the Titans had 9 sacks, if that was the only stat that I heard,
game over.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Jeff Simmons and Harold Landry they feasted on that offensive line. And it was almost surreal, Drew, because it seemed like almost every play, if they weren't sacking them, they were getting pressure. And it's just, it got to the point where it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? And they still won the game. That's what I don't understand.
The game.
Those dump passes. Mixon's a great running back out of the backfield, man. He can literally do everything. And, even though the rush wasn't there, he still found a way to be productive. I wish they'd have kept him in, and he can block too. I believe Joe Mixon is an adequate blocker, if not a little bit better than that. So that's on Zach Taylor. That is on Zach Taylor. And hopefully it does not cost him. And you won't hear a peep from Joe Burrow. You know what I mean?
No, right. Well, I do have to tip my hat to you. You said watch out for that Bengals defense, and they showed up too. You know what I mean? They also 3 picks from Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, first play of the game.
Yeah,
Mike Hilton, still one of the
set
best
that
slot
pace.
corners. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Watching that first play of the game, I thought it was about to just completely be a rout. I thought that was gonna be because the crowd was hyped, like everyone was like, yeah, and then that pick, and everyone's like, oh.
Man, you want to know the crazy thing about this game is when you look at it. As far as from the Titans standpoint, who really do you blame here? Like who really do you blame? Because I mean, Tannehill had 3 picks, so obviously, and the quarterback usually is the scapegoat. But my issue is that the defense balled. You know what I'm saying? They held that offense to 19 points. In
No
the
touchdowns,
end,
no
no
passing
touchdowns, right? So the receivers did their job. Julio Jones was adequate. AJ Brown went off. You know what I'm saying? That catch, it looked like he was.
Oh my
It looked
God,
like he was sitting down.
like he
He
had a
might as well
magnet.
be right. It might as well be exactly. It looked like he was sitting down in a recliner. You know what I'm saying? Like it's light work for him. Derrick Henry, adequate day. Who had the juice in that game? Titans fan, Foreman, and maybe Drew. I'll ask you this. It looked like he had the juice. You see it, I see it, everybody saw it. Do you think this game turns out differently if on that 4th down they gave it to Foreman as opposed to Henry?
I mean, Foreman got you there, So I feel like Tennessee's biggest downfall, because nice little stat for you: Foreman outrushed Henry on 16 less carries.
He had the juice.
He had one more yard than Henry on 4 carries. Yeah. 4 carries, my dude. 66 yards.
Yeah. And
how do you not feed that man till it doesn't work anymore?
Yeah. And you can see the pop on tape. I mean, like literally, you can see it on tape. You can see it on tape. Every time Foreman touched the ball, it was like he was shot out of a cannon. And I think, obviously Derrick Henry weighs a little bit more than him, but I still don't want to tackle that man, Deontay Foreman, coming at the speed that he's able to elevate to.
God knows, man, because he's got a little bit of size to him, and he's just so fast.
He's fast.
You know what I mean? His side to side is ridiculous. I mean, I remember him in Texas. He was the only bright spot on like a pretty
on that team.
Texas team.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
then he showed out when he was on the Texans, but they never really had a team to like give him a shot. No. I think when it comes down to it, we're going to look back and say Tennessee's downfall was thinking all was well because Henry was back.
Yep. Maybe they, and honestly, like it kind of is the overall summary of their season, because they relied in the past couple of seasons, but they've been relying way too much on him. They put too much stock in him. And that's not to say that he couldn't get it done maybe even the next game, but let's not to say maybe they were looking past the Bengals here.
Which is not a team to look past.
No, obviously not. But maybe like they were trying to just get him going for the next game, to the detriment. Obviously, they wound up taking that L. So,
which they end up making it a game. I'm not gonna lie. Watching that first quarter, I thought it was going to be over. I thought the Bengals were just going to keep chipping away.
Yeah, first play of the game with that pick.
14-something points. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
They did make it a game.
They did, they did, and shout to them. Titans will be back next year. That like they're only going to add to that team. I don't know what the contract situation is. Obviously, stick with us. We'll be looking into that over the off season.
And stay tuned for 3 and Out, because Shawn, I got a very Tennessee centric question to ask you about their future and where do they go from here.
I like it. Nice little peek into the future there.
Yeah. Do you think the Bengals can fix this porous O-line in time to not just get murdered by the Chiefs?
Drew, I'll like
they got a week to do it.
I'll be honest with it. Well, and that's the thing is, like, obviously as referenced by the end score of the Chiefs game, which we'll talk about here in a second, but honestly, like, they can probably get by and peek behind the kimono here, but I think the Bengals are going to take it. I like it. Yeah, because like the Bengals O-line, they'll probably do just enough. Like they'll get back in the lab and do just enough to maybe figure that out. Like the Chiefs defense still hasn't looked like they did in the middle part of the season. So
That's fair. I think they are on the curve here.
yep.
Okay. All right. Well, another it seemed like a pretty boring game till it picked up at the end, but 49ers take care of the Packers. Did not see this happening at all. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I went 0-2 with my picks. The NFC just completely blew my mind this time. I did not think the 49ers could get past this Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like honestly, it was the NFC was just all bad matchups, bro. It was bad matchups.
Yeah.
It was the
and the
worst.
49ers continue to be a bad matchup for teams.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've been a bad matchup for the Packers for the past couple of years.
0-4.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers, he, for all that he can do, talking about putting, a call back to putting too much stock in somebody, they put too much stock in Aaron Rodgers being magical. And this team has been susceptible to big game losses, as evidenced by big game losses the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even make it to the NFC Championship game. Rashawn Gary had a coming out party. Let's give a shout to him. He was great in the game, but the rest of the defense was meh. I mean, it was what it was. And it was a low scoring game. So like, let's give them a little bit of a nod there, but Deebo Samuel deserves all the praise in the world.
Yeah, my man is just and the little hold your breath moment there at the end when he hobbled off to end the game. But like, I think it was just a dead leg from getting hit, and it was -2 degrees outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he says he's going to be fine. He said there's nothing to keep him out of next week, and I think that's true. You're gonna have to he's gonna have all the braces and all the shots in his knee. Like he's playing. Like there's nothing. That dude. You're gonna have to murder him to get off the football field. Like he's just that type of player. But
let's go Niners.
Right. I know who Sean's pulling for. That is for sure. But Jimmy G having a Jimmy G stat line. His Jimmy guarantee for his pick. He threw the pick.
Yeah.
11 for 19, 131 yards. Mitchell was the leading rusher. He only had 53 yards. Like the 49ers capitalized at the right moments because they didn't put up a lot offensively.
No, they really didn't. And that's the thing is like I'm a little worried, especially like knowing what the Rams are able to do with the Niners, but also like talking about bad matchups. The Niners are they have proven to be a bad matchup for the Rams. You know what I mean? So they have that going for them. But if anything, this offensive output that or the lack thereof, is a cause for concern in the championship game. Go Niners.
I'm not quite sure who you're pulling for yet, but I guess we'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
Well, on the other side, Aaron Rodgers, 20 for 29, 225 yards, 5 sacks. He got popped 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Aaron Jones had 41 rushing yards and 129 yards receiving. So that just tells me he was in distress too. I mean, he's having to dump the ball and then Jones running it.
And I want to say Valdez-Scantling didn't play, did he?
No.
Nah, and maybe that was something that for everybody that kind of for lack of a better term shits on MVS, he's an integral part of that offense because lo and behold, when they're stagnant and Adams is getting double covered, there's MVS with a long deep play, won a game maybe, but it can spark the offense. So and Bakhtiari was also out. So
yeah. But I mean, when you don't have that many weapons, like I was watching, I think it was ESPN this morning, and Rex Ryan was saying this is what you get when you draft Jordan Love #1 overall. This is what happens.
Yeah. Drew said it. I'm not salty at all, but this is what happens when you don't have your weapons, Rams fans. I think it'd have been different. 3-point ass. 3 points, not 9 points in 3 games. That's all y'all got.
Let's talk about let's get into it. That's because I mean the 49ers Packers, I got nothing else to say about that. Let's get into the Rams taking care of the Bucks, moving on to the NFC Championship.
It was the Bucks' fault.
How you feel?
It
Okay.
was the Bucks' fault. It was their own fault. You get punched in the mouth out the gate, man, and like Rams are
Literally,
big.
Brady got punched in the mouth almost.
He did, and no call, no call at all, no call at all. Brady gets all the calls, though, Drew. He gets all the
I'm not gonna
calls.
lie, it caught me off guard that he didn't get that call. Because I mean, especially when you watch it and Hockley's right there, I'm just like,
Not only did he not get the call, but they called taunting or unsportsmanlike conduct. So it made the offense stagnant because it was now we were driving. That was the first real drive of the game. And you see what you have there. But this one's on the defense, Drew. This one's on the defense. For as many they needed those turnovers, obviously, when they got them. But why were you even in that position? Like, you know what I'm saying? Miscommunications for a Super Bowl winning team, that's on you. Todd Bowles, that's on you. Last two plays of the game, you call an all-out blitz, and you have the number one receiver in the league this year running wide open. Like
on man by himself with
this is
safety help.
This is not on Tom Brady. This is not on Tom Brady at all. This is not on Mike Evans. Jalen Ramsey, step your game up. You supposed to be that dude. Only 4 games this year. Only 4 games this year. I saw a stat with 55 receiving yards given up. Guess who did it? Stop underrating Mike Evans, man. Stop doing that.
119 yards and a touchdown. Stafford looked good, man. You do got to give credit where credit's due. I know you don't want to. I see the look on your face. I know you don't want to, but Stafford did. He managed the game. You know what I mean? He made big plays to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp having another monster game, 183 yards and a touchdown. But Stafford had to do it because I don't know why they didn't want to go to McVay only having one running back at a time baffles me. Like, because Akers, I know you don't want to count out Akers because you need him. You got to have him for the next game. But 2 fumbles and Sony Michel has 1 carry the whole game.
Well, I mean, and this was obviously a big game. But I kind of understand him maybe going away for as great as Cam Akers was last week. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't ready for this Bucs defense for as shitty as they were yesterday. And then they made them pay. This team, the Bucs team, is very good at punching the football out. Like as Levante Davis is one of the best at that.
Yeah, because when's the last time you heard Kupp fumble? You know what I mean?
Right. That don't happen. So they're very good at that. But yeah, for as much as it was now, and that's why you still see me and all this shit up here, because for as shitty as they were, obviously this is for life. I got a tattoo to prove it. They ain't going nowhere. But I'm proud of the boys. I am proud because they fought. They could have gave up. They could have given up easily. And with the way that game was going, it was 20-3. And that's the Tom Brady factor right there. That's the defense that I wanted to see early in the game, the shit that it wound up coming down to. But we'll be back next year. Please put them on the schedule. Put them on the schedule. And let's see what y'all do when them picks start running out and them contracts coming up and people start getting to talking and all that stuff. Enjoy it.
I hope it starts the season. I hope that's week 1.
Yeah, enjoy it.
I hope it's Rams. I hope it's Rams week 1. Rams Bucs week 1. Let's kick it off.
Let's do it.
You want to see my co-host fired up? Give them Rams week 1.
Yeah, I'm ready to fight right now. I'm ready to fight. Let's go.
Well, I hate that it ruined your football Sunday because, man, and we had a game and a half afterwards. Because literally, we had a game and a half because it was a little slow there it was exciting. It kept your attention because it was Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes trading body blows for 3 quarters. And then the 4th quarter rang and they started throwing haymakers. It was amazing. It was that boxing match where it's 10 rounds and about round 7, 8, they start throwing hands.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm sorry it ruined my football Sunday too. You know what I'm saying? Like I really am. I didn't want to watch that shit, but I chose the Bills. You know what I'm saying? I thought that the Bills were
Well, with the game won with 13 seconds left, everyone thought that was going to be a good pick.
Yeah, I was a little suspect on the Chiefs offense, but they like clearly they put
Patrick
something together
Mahomes,
yesterday. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, like there was a play that I saw with Travis Kelce got him into field goal range to tie the game in the fourth quarter.
Right.
This just shows that these guys are on a whole nother level. And I'm talking about the holy trifecta, Mahomes, Hill, and Kelce. Because like Pringle's stepping up, Robinson's doing all right, McKinnon's doing great out of the backfield. Hilaire was back.
Yeah.
But those three are operating at a whole nother level. That route that Kelce ran to get them in field goal position isn't a route. Like he said that when they were in the huddle, he said he turned to Patrick Mahomes and he's like, I'm probably not going to run the route for this play. I'm just going to get open.
Yeah.
And he said they broke and they're on the line of scrimmage and Mahomes is looking at the defense and he said he's just yelling at Kelce like, do it. Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
And it worked.
That's chemistry. That's chemistry.
And that's why you sign them to long-term deals to keep them together.
Well, it is, and who knows how long Kelce still has left. I mean, obviously he's still doing his thing, so I would not be putting his foot out the door quite yet. No. But maybe, and maybe this is the homer in me here, but maybe they got off to such a great start and the offense was good because now they don't have to worry about the Bucs beating that ass anymore. Okay. You know what I mean? Like the way he was running
for that to come.
The way that he was running last year in that Super Bowl, it was ghosts. Maybe I don't know, but maybe like now he got to watch that earlier. The Bucs not be in the playoffs anymore. It's like waking up to a beautiful sunrise. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful morning now. So like he's free and clear. Chiefs are in the championship. It should be a good one next week though.
It should be fantastic. We got to talk about it. It's been the talk of sports talk all day today.
Wouldn't know.
Everyone's been talking about the overtime rule. Is the overtime rule fair? How do you feel about the current NFL overtime? Because to be honest with you, man, I loved watching that game, but if we put them in college rules, because I thought about this, because they both relied heavily on big plays. You know what I mean? Like Hill busting a 40 yards down the hill. He gets open that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? He might not get that open if you're starting at the 25-yard line. So everyone thinks this is going to be this exciting back and forth football, but you're limiting them so much to those big plays. And these two teams relied heavily on those big plays. So yeah, it would have been fun seeing them score back and forth, but the excitement's kind of gone. You know what I mean? Like I might necessarily not agree with first team to score if it's a touchdown, game over. But I mean, that's the entire NFL I've grown up on. You know what I mean? Like I don't know any different. I don't know if another way can be more exciting. Yes, college football is fun, but it's just field goal, touchdown, field goal, touch. And
I guess 2 points to your points there, and great points they are. I don't like the sudden death either. Like I don't like if you score a touchdown right out the gate. I believe that not necessarily at the 20, but like, or excuse me, like put it at the 20 of, like the red zone or whatnot. But give them the whole length of the field. Like if they score
all you got to do is add an extra possession in there. That's all you got to do.
That's it. Just one extra possession. And my second point was that maybe like what I do like about it, the college rules, is you're in the red zone. You got a short field to work with. So defense is more defensive. You know what I'm saying? Like defenses don't have to worry about that. So they're able to key in, and maybe that's what it is. There's like less room to operate. So you get to see the defender shine, in my opinion, which I'm a defensive guy. So that's what I like about it. Yeah, that's what I like about it. You know what I mean?
I think in another life you were a defensive coordinator and I was an offensive coordinator.
Hey, we'd make a great team, as we do now.
Right. Gabriel Davis getting that NFL record 4 touchdowns, man. My man came out and just had a day.
Bro, he broke the shit out of one person. I saw that in a GIF. Yeah, I don't know
Made him
what
just
route
completely. Poor Thornhill,
Yeah,
man. He
yeah,
broke Thornhill, like which Honey Badger got concussion early on. So
yeah. I saw.
Thornhill
Yeah,
and the poor Chiefs had to rely on Thornhill and Sorensen as their two.
Dirty Dan Sorensen, Dirty
Yeah, that's
Dan.
when that's when Laura got a little cautious
Yeah.
when those two guys had to take over.
Well, Juan Thornhill, like he's been a little suspect
He's
this
had
year.
some
Like,
big games. He's had some
yeah,
plays where he saved them some
right.
games here and there, but then he, like last night, where a just quick move from Davis and he fell flat
Yeah.
on his ass. So
Yeah. So I do like Juan Thornhill, but he needs to be, obviously a little bit more consistent.
yeah, you did say it best, man, and I love that the stats came down to this because the thing I took away from what you said last week about the Chiefs and Bills, you said if one quarterback starts running, the other one might follow suit. Did you see their rushing yards?
I did not.
Josh Allen 68 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes 69 rushing yards.
Ooh, good number. I just feel like that's what I'm saying. Like this Patrick Mahomes is in desperation mode. Like I think he wants another chip. And now
early too. Like he's seeing the turmoil that Aaron Rodgers is going through at the end of his career, and he never secured that second chip. So Mahomes wants to go ahead and knock it out of the way, and then he's in bonus time. He's gotten his 2 Super Bowls, which is standard for elite quarterbacks.
Oh, yep.
He's got his 2. Now this is whatever happens the rest of his 15 more years in the league.
Yeah,
is just golden.
It's golden. Yep. And it takes the what if out of the equation. It takes it right
I would
out
want
of the
it too if
equation.
I was him. I'd be like,
what
legacy cemented.
You know what I don't understand though, Drew, is like talking about Patrick Mahomes, like clearly he has the sense of urgency. And what is baffling to me, as a lover of this game, is how do you get to this stage? I'm asking, how do you get to this stage and you can see it? Like every player does not have it on the field. Like out of the 22, you can spot a couple that's just like, it's just another game. I don't get that.
Do they get that money and get that lifestyle, and they're just like, whatever.
Maybe.
Like I got a pool. I'm just thinking about grilling out with the family at the pool. Yeah. Like because I agree with you, man. I don't know because to me, you would think to make it to the NFL, you got that killer. Like
it's there. It's there.
So because to be honest with you, man, it looked like Aaron Rodgers shut it off this weekend.
Yeah, I think he saw the writing on the wall. Like whenever the offense wasn't working and the game was close, I agree with you. Like he looked like maybe he knew what the fate was going to be. Circling back to that game, and I'm asking question to you.
Yeah.
Why Jimmy G at the end the game?
Did you see him wearing the all black with the gold necklace?
Nah.
Oh man, he was in the post game just smiling with a gold necklace, a nice black shirt, a black like jacket with a pattern on it. Like he was just like
Jimmy he's setting up after football all day.
Games that he has not thrown a touchdown and started for the 49ers, he is 4-0.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Damn. In the playoff, in the show too, man.
Yeah, in playoff games where he has not thrown a touchdown, the 49ers are 4-0.
I mean, take the ball out of his hands. It's kind of a known. Like if you take the ball out of his hands, like everything else is talking about bonus time.
He threw 19 passes, my dude. 19 passes.
Damn. I mean,
if they won an NFC divisional game,
if they can win like that, and honestly, that shows you more. That tells me more about the Packers than it does about the 49ers. They did not make them do anything differently than what they wanted to do, and that's why they home with our ass.
Which, for the love of God, if you're a Packers fan and you take that double, because he sounded like he wasn't coming back. That's what I took away from the press conference. It sounded like he was done.
Oh, I got a question for 3 and out in you. Yeah.
Okay. Because if you're a Packers fan and you get hit with that knockout in the take how you're feeling right now.
Yep.
And then your quarterback leaves as well?
Talking about quarterbacks, I'm not even going to answer that because
Okay.
you almost teed it right up.
Nice. Well,
Teed it right up.
I'm going to knock out some housekeeping notes real quick, and we'll get into 3
All right, save that little note, like and subscribe. We'll be right back with you.
Brady and Rodgers getting real about their future in the post-game conference. Brady says he's going to take it day by day, check in with the fam, see what's going on. His seemed way more upbeat than Rodgers coming in with I'm not going to be a part of a rebuild.
I mean,
I just love the honesty on both parts. You know what I mean? Brady's like, I got to see if Gisele's going to let me play again. Yeah. And then Brady's like, and then Rodgers is like, we'll see what the team does.
Yeah,
we'll see.
You want to know what was crazy is that like Gisele already does not want Brady to play, and Brady, like in classic Brady fashion, says all the right things, like, "Hey, I'm gonna defer to my wife," but then like he still comes back for another year, so he probably gets home and he's like,
"Yeah, I want to see what jewelry he's got to buy to buy another season." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
another boat. I don't know. Steelers defensive coordinator Keith Butler retires from football. He doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild either.
I don't blame him. That's going to be a hell of a rebuild. A lot more than what the Packers probably have to go through.
Unless they get on Matty Ryan. I don't know.
Or Aaron Rodgers.
Bucks waived Le'Veon Bell before the game Saturday. So Fournette came back. They're like, we don't need you.
Yeah, that was a little dirty. That was a little dirty. I mean, I wasn't a fan.
Yeah. And the Chiefs are trying to do it with Gordon now. The Chiefs are trying to get out of their contract with Josh Gordon as we speak.
I mean, if I'm a team, I don't want to do anything that's going to get me bad juju.
Right now,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
right now,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want any bad karma. Like, in this past year has shown me that to win a Super Bowl, I didn't realize this when I was in 2002 when the Bucks won the Super Bowl because I was a lot younger. It takes an incredible amount of luck to win a Super Bowl.
Everything has to go right. Everything. Like y'all didn't get touched by that injury bug last year. Like,
and we did this year.
Mm-hmm.
Crucial. Mm-hmm. It contributed to our
downfall. So many things have to fall. That's why when they say repeat, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough, man. It's tough.
Giants named Joe Schoen their GM. So one tile falls into place for our buddy Chris Mara. He's hoping he brings his Buffalo friend with him to New York.
Yeah. I heard he's got a good track record. So Giants need it, man. They need a spark in New York.
Yeah, need something. Like I mentioned in our cold open, all 4 divisional games were won with no time remaining in regulation or in overtime. 4 in the same round. That's never happened in an entire playoffs before. And it happened in the same week.
Crazy. I wish, like, as far as these games, I honestly wish I didn't have a dog in the fight because I would have got to the Saturday was great. Don't get me wrong. Saturday was great.
Yeah.
But like I would have been able to enjoy that game a lot more had I not been in utter despair.
No, I get it. I get it. I understand. Like whenever my team's not doing that great, luckily there's a line though that if those years that the Bucks were just so bad that you're just like, you're just gonna enjoy football.
Right.
That's where I'm at with the Panthers right now. So I'm just getting to enjoy it. They're not good enough to break my heart right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking towards the future.
Yeah.
I'm in that nice, happy stance right now.
And there are definitely levels to this.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And
are you going to be able to bounce back and enjoy next week?
The wound is still too fresh. Still too fresh. But for you the people, I will definitely be keeping tabs on it. But just empathize with your boy.
That's fair. Okay. All right. Last housekeeping note I got is the Baltimore Ravens fired their defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale.
I would imagine he's going to get some looks,
right?
With that Baltimore defense and what they were able to do. They weren't Ray Lewis era,
But just think about all the injuries they took on offense, and they still almost made the playoffs.
Yep. And they were a part of it. So I would imagine like maybe
I think
maybe it
that
was just
blame's getting pointed in the wrong direction for sure.
yeah. Maybe it was just, like maybe it was just time to move on. And sometimes you see that with
That's
teams
fair.
and like they still have success, but
If I'm him, I'm going over to
it just changes
Pittsburgh and
scenery.
I'm getting pissed off.
Saucy.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin, man.
I'd love to be a coordinator in our Tomlin.
I would.
Get out of here. All right, let's get into 3 and out. Do you want first down or you want me to take it?
Yeah, kind of getting it out of there. But Drew, first down, out of the teams that lost, out of all the teams that lost this weekend, 4 games, 4 teams, what do you think the quick fix should be? Not for each one of the teams, but which one do you think is ready to take that next step and maybe elevate themselves to the championship game next year? And what do they need to put them over the top out of the 4 teams that lost?
I mean, the quick answer is the Bucks and just being healthy, but I'm a little concerned, man, because it's looking like your guys are going to have to learn a new scheme, either on the offensive side of the ball or on the defensive side of the ball. Like, I don't know if you necessarily lose both coordinators, but you losing one of them, I feel like.
Yeah, I could probably see that. And that's on veteran leadership. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's on the vets.
Because I truly don't know. Like the right answer for the Bills is to not face the Chiefs in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because like that team looks complete from head to toe. Like Tampa Bay does too. You know what I mean? But like the Bills look like they're gonna have this exact team next year. You know, like
yeah.
Like I don't know if what contract situations are for the stars of both teams, but like I feel like the Bucks have had a all-star team for a few years, and I know how hard that is to keep together. So like I don't know if you have a lot of key pieces that are coming up for contract renewal. Like I know you have a magician for a GM, so if it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean?
So, right. He's going to have to get crafty because there is a lot of contracts coming up. And honestly, like, I mean, we'll definitely preview the draft and stuff too. But like with those contracts coming up, some of them are older vets. Vita ain't going anywhere. He just got paid. A lot of young guys on this team. But the key is going to be keeping that offensive line together.
Because other teams see what y'all done and they're going to try to.
Definitely. Yeah. So honestly, like for as much as I love JPP, down year for him, you got to go, bro. You got to go. Like I think
his undefeated streak's over anyway. He's got to go.
Yeah, you got to go.
I hear you, man. With second down, I didn't want to say Titans because my question is second downs on the Titans. Is it time for them to move on from Ryan Tannehill?
Well, I feel like it's like a loaded answer because without knowing who's available, I don't want to the grass might not be greener.
Student. Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? Like the grass might not be greener, man. Like
that's fair. Trust me, I know.
If you out here downgrading, then what is the point? You know what I'm saying? And he'll just be laughing. But bruh, like I just, can they upgrade? I think so.
Yeah.
I think they can upgrade. Yes.
I just because it's going to be, we thought last year was, I know I've said this before, but we thought last year was a quarterback carousel. I just got a feeling we about to see some shit. So I'm excited. You know what I mean? Like we don't know where some of these veteran guys are going to land, and I just think dominoes are going to fall. And I mean, I think it starts with Aaron Rodgers. I think it starts with Rodgers picking his next team, and then it's just going to trickle down from there. Because I don't think the Packers are going to be. I don't think they can satisfy that fan base by just being like Jordan Love. You know what I mean? So
they're gonna have to do something drastic.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to do something drastic, man.
The football team's gonna want a shiny new quarterback. You know what I mean? Like The Giants might be in the market. We got to see what Matt Ryan and the Falcons,
Yeah.
Baker's saying he's going back to Cleveland, but we don't know.
Yeah, Andrew Berry might be feeling a little jumpy over there. So, I don't know,
we got to
man.
see if the new coach or so many pieces. Talk about dominoes. We got to see if Vegas's GM wants to keep the coach, which in turn wants to keep Carr. So Carr might be like, so many things are popping up.
Bro, I just realized that not only are the Bucs out of the playoffs, but those bets I placed in Vegas aren't coming true.
No.
Yeah. Man, had them going all the way, man. Wasn't a bad bet, but
to get to the semifinals.
Yeah, but kicking it in the third down, man. We just alluded to it a little bit earlier, a little bit more quarterback talk for y'all. But as the pieces will fall when they may, Aaron Rodgers is obviously the biggest piece because it's been that way all year. But my prediction that I made a little while ago, not necessarily a prediction, but like, my crystal ball or whatever, is kind of maybe, especially with what Brady said in his press conference. If Brady does not come back, the Bucs could look like a pretty good destination for a quarterback. So my question to you, Drew, is if Aaron Rodgers, and he will have his choice, where should he go? Should he go to Tennessee? Should he go to Tampa Bay? Or should he go to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Which team would be better served to get Aaron Rodgers that elusive second Super Bowl ring?
The only reason the Steelers are in play here is because the wide receiver core.
Defense, though?
Defense is good. Yeah, you're right. Because,
or an unnamed team, if you think of another team, too.
Yeah. I personally think he would be best suited going to the San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh, yeah.
Get Jimmy Guarantee out of there.
Get Jimmy Guaranteed out of there.
Can you imagine what him and Samuel can do together?
Damn.
What him and Ayuk can do together?
Him and Shanahan can do together.
Oh, my God, dude.
Because even though they were on the same staff, Shanahan is better than the floor, obviously. And he's proven, especially if he beats McVay's ass next week. I just wanted to fight.
What if he goes to San Fran and brings Devontae Adams with him?
San Francisco champions? I don't know, especially with a good draft, man. Just quickly before we move on here, just a little follow-up question that we got for you, Drew. But talking about with all this quarterback talk, is it okay? Put it that way, for lack of a better term. But like, if you're a quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers or an elite-ish type quarterback, and you see a team out there that may be posturing themselves to have a quarterback position open, or maybe it's a clear indication that they need a quarterback because the quarterback play they're not getting is up to par. Is it just like an unwritten rule, like obviously with tampering and stuff like that, but is it just an unwritten rule, or is it okay for you to be like, I can take this man's job and get you to where you need to go? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure those text messages go out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure those emails get sent. I'm sure those agents see head coaches and GMs at things, and you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the NFL's got as big a tampering issue as like the NBA does per se, but like,
oh God, yeah.
But I definitely I'm sure quarterbacks and wide receivers and tight ends or defensive backs are hanging out from other teams and being like,
doing all the tampering. Just
if you came to town, we'd still be playing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of teams out there. Denver being another dark horse, and San Francisco. We'll see what happens with them. But
definitely
there are a lot of
teams
teams
to get to the West Coast. So I think
I can see that.
You know what I mean?
I can see
and
that.
Now the whole mix of it. I know you hate him, but he's going to come into play here. We got to see if Sean Payton is done in New Orleans and see if he goes
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
Because you got to think
Damn.
wherever he goes, that's going to be a destination for one of these quarterbacks.
So he was talking about maybe retiring, or was he just talking about?
Oh, I thought he was talking about like a new
just
change
leaving
of
the
scenery.
team. Yeah, I don't really know what the reports are with that, but I did see that, and if he does go to another team, instant destination. That team will also become a dirty team wherever he goes. But if like Drew, my heart, that would be the prize for me this offseason. If not only do the Saints lose Drew Brees in 1 year, but then don't make the playoffs and then lose Sean Payton. Oh God, that would be.
Then they can turn into the Aints again. I'm down.
Oh,
I'm down for
yes.
it. I love those years.
Put them bags
sucked.
over their head. Put them bags over their heads.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, 4th down. I just don't understand. Like watching that game, man, last night was just intense, especially watching it with a Chiefs fan. Holy crap. But
oh, yeah.
If you're the Bills higher ups today, what are you thinking? Like, do you just come back next year and try a little bit harder? Do you go out and get another piece? Like, do you think of a new scheme? Like, where do the Buffalo Bills go from here?
Well, I mean, if I'm the Bills, man, you gotta stay the course. Another good solid draft. Obviously, like there are a bunch of position groups there that they don't need to touch at all. I think the wide receivers could use another piece. You know what I'm saying?
Like
I think
taller possession.
Right. Maybe the offensive line, another piece on defensive line.
I heard Kelvin Benjamin's a free agent.
They tried that once and it didn't work out very good for them. But listen, I like the Bills. I think you stay the course because maybe the Chiefs stumble a bit next year. You know what I'm saying? And like now they got to come. They got to come to Buffalo. Right. Exactly. Now they got to come to Buffalo. So and they were right there. They were right there. I mean, 13 seconds is all it took for, you know what I'm saying? So stay the course, man.
It's shaping up to be a great AFC. Like if Burrow and Cincinnati keeps building, like Herbert arises in LA, like this is just as good as when we had Peyton versus Brady versus Rivers versus Roethlisberger. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm definitely worried. I think everybody's worried about that offensive line of the Bengals. But
you gotta think they address it. You have to think.
Oh, in the offseason for sure. But I mean, like as far as this last game and maybe the next one.
Well, let's segue into our conference championships. Let's talk about the Bengals Chiefs. So speak on it. Tell me how you feel about the Bengals offensive line.
Man, that's what I was gonna say is like I think that if they can figure out a way to put it together for another game, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Okay. I honestly think that because I don't think the Chiefs are the best team. Well, the Rams are the best team
on paper. Yeah,
on paper. But I think the Chiefs have the cachet and they've been there before. The Rams haven't been there before. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I still have to give the edge to out of all the 4 teams that are left. I have to give the edge to the Chiefs. I know Laura would love to hear that. Shout to her.
The Rams were there a couple of years ago with
what
minus Jared Goff, a version of them.
Right.
Okay, Aaron Donald was in the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Okay. Yeah, right. There you go.
Because I was just going through all the players, I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
How quickly we forget that Rams season, because it was a forgettable Super Bowl. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like the Chiefs have been doing this consistently, though. You know what I'm saying? And so I got to give the edge to them. But if the Bengals can figure out a way to get past them, I don't think the Rams or the 49ers pose a big enough threat to keep up with that offense.
I honestly think the AFC Championship game is the Super Bowl, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because we've seen the NFC Championship 2 times already this season. You know what I'm saying? It's a division matchup.
Yeah. The Bengals did win that Week 17 matchup 34-31, where we did see Burrow throw for 446 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And it's going to take every bit of it. Whose defense are you more backing right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, whose defense looks better? Honestly, it's the Bengals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those 3 picks, man, to Tannehill last week were big. And to be honest with you, man, I think something that helped the Chiefs against the Bills, they had a little extra chip on their shoulder because they were the underdog. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
what that year that Patrick Mahomes, that year they first won the Super Bowl, they were the underdog the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, they were the new AFC team
Right.
that was battling it out.
Yeah.
And I think they relished that underdog role so much that when they were the underdog for the first time in a very long time against the Bills, even though they were at home and the higher seed, I don't think anyone truly gave them a chance. Everybody we talked to on here, everybody I saw on all of the sports networks, everyone was picking the Bills. So I think they relished that underdog role, and now it's taken away from them because the Bengals are very much the underdog right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, apparently Joe Burrow gave a very fiery speech talking about that same subject is like, why not? Like, it no longer is it why not us? Like, we deserve to be here. You know what I mean?
And they're going to be there for
they
years to come, I feel like.
Yeah, as long as they keep making the right decisions in the offseason, getting this man protected.
I just love that they don't necessarily make the right decisions in the offseason and they're still here, you know.
Joe Burrow.
That is a great decision.
And the defense, man. Like, we got to give credit to that defense. Trey Hendrickson shows you how much they need him being able to play. And didn't hurt. I think he went out for a bit and maybe came back in the game.
He just plays so hard, man. I understand how he's got to take a couple of plays off every now and then.
Yep. And I do have to say, like, Mike Hilton was obviously a dog in that game, but Chidobe Awuzie, he wanted nothing to do with AJ Brown. Like, he didn't want anything to do. And I love Chidobe Awuzie, but AJ Brown,
I love it, man. I hope we see him shine for years to come.
Let's go.
Well, let's talk NFC. 49ers, LA Rams. The 49ers do have the 2-0 season lead. They won week 10, 31-10, and also won the last week of the season. A little more difficult this time, 27-24 in overtime.
Yeah, and we all know the old adage.
Hard to beat a team 3 times in a year.
Hard to beat a team 3 times. And I thought this yesterday when the Bucs were going against the Rams. And so this is really a heads up to the 49ers. And I'll kick it to you on this, and maybe you could speak to this a little bit too. But it does it not seem that when the Rams come out, they are good for about 2 quarters. Like, they come out, they get early points early and often. That is scheme. That they are figuring out your weaknesses and forcing you to adapt. And when they've faded down the stretch, obviously I believe that those teams have adapted to what they're doing, and then they're just lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it seems like to me. So 49ers, if you can withstand the initial burst that they're going to come out and do, then you got a shot to win. You know what I'm saying? And the 49ers know that better than anybody because they're in the division. But I don't know. What do you think on that? Speak on that.
I'm just curious as to what quarterback lets their team down the most, because I think that's the team that loses.
Jimmy Guarantee been trending, bro. He's been trending trending for a letdown.
Yeah,
hopefully not.
I think this week happens. I'm not to give too much away before we get in our locks, but if I'm gonna, every time I see Jimmy G, I think of that meme where it's the 2 strong dragons heads, and then the one that's like, that's Jimmy G to me. He's just like, I play football. You know what I mean? I date porn stars.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, I think he loves living the life, but when he's on that field, man, good God, I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, he's good for about 2 of them throws a game, at least them two YOLO
That's
throws.
why the 49ers are like, you get to throw the ball maybe 20 times.
Right. Like, when we need you, you know? But, I mean, I hope that, especially like Debo said he's playing, I really think that, you know, for as much as McVay probably wants the championship, I hope you don't ever get one. I think that Shanahan is a great coach. He's one of my favorites, but I think, talking about desperation earlier, I think he's desperate. So I think he has something in the back pocket that we haven't seen yet. And I want to see Kittle, bro. Get Kittle. I want to see Kittle. That's what I want to see. Because that, like, he is very assuredly becoming one of my favorite players. Like, just
no
watching him
doubt.
healthy. Like, and they're on the West Coast, so I don't really get to see him that much.
The best post-game speech I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "It's a kid that grew up a Packers fan. Like, I get to come here, play a playoff game at Lambeau,
and win.
Yeah, it was great, man. You could see that my man is just a football fan that happens to be a giant human being, and he has turned that into a football career.
Yep. Yeah. And you gotta love it. You gotta love that, man. You gotta love it. So I guess we locking this thing up, man.
Let's lock it down. Stop me if you've heard this before, but we're tied.
Damn. It's gonna come down to it.
You got your game back last week. You went 1-1. I went 0-2.
Yeah.
Bills let you down, but you called the Bengals over the Titans, and just my NFC just was a debacle. So, let's both pick this week. So, who you got in the NFC?
NFC, I don't. I'm not going to do it. I'm picking the 49ers. Okay. I'm picking the 49ers. Do I believe they have enough? Yeah. I think the Rams have the better team on paper, but fuck them. I don't care. So 49ers, let's get it.
All right. I'm picking the Los Angeles Rams. I think Stafford has found a little inner peace. I think Akers is going to come back with a vengeance after those 2 fumbles. I think he's going to want to play, and I think the Rams, like you said, man, it's just so hard to beat a team 3 times in the year.
I think they break the trend.
Break the curse. All right, I like it. All right. Well, in the AFC, man, I'm not gonna. I didn't pick the AFC, but I thought the Chiefs were gonna win. Going to beat the Bills. Like, I think I was one of the only people in the country that was picking them, other than the players. But I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and the defense that, while not as good as they once were this season, are doing enough. So I'm picking Kansas City Chiefs.
Going with the Bengals. So it's a lock off both games.
We're both going to win a game and be tied going into the Super Bowl.
Yep. Which one is it going to be?
I guess you're just going to have to tune in next week to find out. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, share with all your friends. Shawn, where can they hit you up?
At the Kid Suds on Twitter. It's a sad, dark place right now, my Twitter timeline.
Give them a couple days.
Yeah, so follow me over at nickel_Dom FB on Twitter. Where
keeps it a little more light,
a little more light, a little bit more for everybody. Because I got nothing but shots for the Rams right now. But yeah, so, and also of course at the illustrious nickel_Dom football on IG. Drew, what about you, man?
Check it out, DrewHarrisonComedy.com. Follow me on Instagram. It's my favorite. Laugh with Harrison. I'm ready for another great weekend of football, so I hope you are too. I'm going to be watching the games so I can tell Shawn what happened. Because he might be done for the season. It's fine. It's cool.
Heartbreaking. You got the best of me, baby. A little Mariah Carey there for you.
Understandable. Me and Mariah. All right. But no, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next week.